These people are and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, it's demeaning and insulting, quite frankly, because it's reducing what I do, which is really subtle.
Let's segregate society because that nature.
In his fiery on-air debate, and Coulter, the outspoken conservative commentator, faces off with Hassan, __, a well-known progressive voice with just one pointed question. Coulter throws Hassan off balance, sharply challenging his stance, and catching him visibly off guard. The discussion quickly escalates, touching on some of the most pressing political issues of our time. Coulter's direct style and unfiltered commentary dominate the conversation, creating a moment that has since gone viral. Whether you agree with her or not, her strategic questioning leaves a lasting impression. This encounter captures the growing divide between conservative values and progressive perspectives, sparking heated discussions across the political spectrum.
Nothing bad. What are you talking about?
You're the grumpiest. You know what I feel like right now?
Why am I grumpy?
I feel like now I'm going to turn 65. I feel like we're on your porch in the rocking chair. Get off my lawn,
I'm not the grumpy one.
Look, let me ask. Can I ask? I know it's your podcast, but I've been carrying questions within me for you.
Yes, I'm playing.
Okay.
Carrying.
Okay.
Wow.
So you don't, as I heard you say, maybe you dotted here and there, but you've abandoned college campuses in your stand-up.
Every comedian has.
Okay. So
literally everyone.
Let me ask you. If you came up today, would you just read the landscape and develop a whole other comedic repertoire that does not end up having people picket outside your thing? Are you just transposed and you're not adjusting to the shifting terrain? So why is it their fault and not your fault?
Well, you're being so broad about the whole thing.
Yeah, I am.
Well, but that doesn't work because that doesn't ever explain anything. If you want to talk about specific issues, it's funny, this subject comes up a lot of times with like people who are, my friends who are around my age, 40. And they have like kids who are like super woke and drive them.
I got woke kids. I will never be as woke as my kids would want me to be, ever.
Yeah, but you're a little too. Still. Woke does not automatically mean better. Newer does not automatically mean
that's
better.
True.
So that's why I say to talk broadly is bullshit. You have to talk about what specific, issue are we talking about? The ones that get people's attention are gender issues.
Yeah, I know, but what?
Things like that. This is very different.
You cut your teeth in the 70s.
What I'm saying,
and you read the room.
Okay, but I'll answer you.
Read the politics.
I didn't read the politics.
Yes, you did.
Do you know what I did?
Because I know your jokes of the era. They were great.
Well, a lot of people think they're great now.
Okay, that's still great.
I don't know if you don't any.
No. What I meant was,
am I not woke enough for you?
Were jokes that would work on a college campus. Okay. Surely there's a portfolio of jokes that would still work on a college campus. Surely.
I would hope not. From what maybe some college campuses, the ones you read about are
given up on an entire generation.
I have given up on any place that doesn't even remotely attempt to believe in free speech and thinks that anything that they hear that they don't like, that they don't agree with, is violence. These people are and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, who has standing with kids, should be not joining them. You're doing what parents do. You're taking the path of least resistance, and therefore hurting the kids and yourself. Parents ruin both their lives. They ruin their spoiled kids' lives, and they ruin their own lives.
During the debate, Hassan specifically focuses on how undocumented immigrants supposedly benefit the U.S. economy, yet noticeably avoids discussing other major concerns like rising crime or pressure on public services. This selective framing of the issue feels incomplete. Critics argue that focusing solely on economics, while ignoring broader consequences, distorts the reality of immigration's impact. Hassan's tendency to highlight favorable data, while overlooking critical concerns, leaves many feeling that his commentary lacks balance. The frustration for some viewers lies in the apparent unwillingness to acknowledge the full scope of challenges tied to this topic. The result is a one-sided conversation that fuels ongoing mistrust.
My social media and the like, and I see what pisses people off, what they react to, and I say, all right, these are the landmines. I'm going to navigate that. I'm going to navigate.
Okay, you're
So I navigated so that I can, because my father's greatest bit of wisdom to me, several nuggets. One of them was, it's not good enough to be right. You also have to be effective. And if you reject the college campus, then you have no influence on them. They're not going to say, oh, we're not going to get a bill, maybe we should change. Then you have no influence on them.
Sweetheart, I can wait till they grow up a little. Okay, I can wait. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about with comedians.
Don't age rank on me.
Comedian. No, you don't know what I'm talking about. You know you know outer space.
Well, what I will tell you,
I know doing comedy
I'm a
shows.
huge consumer of your trade.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I mean, thank you on behalf of all comedians
I'm
in
a
my
huge consumer. I'm just letting you know that.
You mean of all comedians?
Yes. Of all.
Okay, yes. Well, on behalf of all of us.
And I have a fast Jay Leno joke. Not joke, but observation.
One of the most overlooked issues in the immigration debate is housing. Illegal immigration, critics say, is putting increased strain not just on healthcare, but also on housing availability, job access. And social services veterans and struggling citizens are often deprioritized in favor of expanded programs that benefit non-citizens. This creates tension over who receives public resources and why people like Hassan are seen as dismissing these problems entirely, often ignoring housing shortages or underplaying wage suppression caused by unregulated labor. This perceived denial of real issues has left many Americans feeling unheard and frustrated as inflation, rent prices, and job competition continue to rise.
Exactly. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But this is what I always say about these kind of issues. Like, there's two ways that you can be benighted about something. One, you can be too far from it.
Yeah.
Like, I would be too far from certain issues, racial issues, of course. How could I ever know?
Right.
You can also be lost sort of thinking-wise, as I am, because I'm too far from it.
When political violence targets conservative figures, a reaction often differs drastically compared to when left-leaning individuals face threats. Critics argue that figures like Hassan and Destiny are quick to dismiss or even joke about serious incidents involving political opponents. The concern isn't just about partisanship, it's about fairness. When violence occurs, there's an expectation that leaders and influencers will condemn it regardless of who's affected, but in many cases theirs. Deflection or silence. This double standard frustrates many who believe that all political violence should be taken seriously. Avoiding accountability based on political bias sends a dangerous message and deepens the divide in music,